What if I told you? We've mapped the surface, but we barely understand what's underneath. Some caves don't just go underground. They go into worlds that shouldn't exist. In Romania, scientists found a cave where life evolved without sunlight for millions of years. In Vietnam, a cave so big, it creates its own weather. In Mexico, a crystal cave so hot, your body collapses in minutes. And in Turkey, there's an underground city built for 20,000 people. In Mexico's cenotes, divers found human remains, over 10,000 years old. And in the ocean, some blue holes don't end. They lead sideways into darkness. This isn't fiction. Every cave in this video is real, documented by explorers and scientists. And the deeper we go, the less the Earth feels like home. Yo, if you just got mind blown by these forbidden discoveries, don't sleep on this. Hit that subscribe button now and join the Fact Story History squad. Smash that like, drop a comment with which artifact freaked you out the most, and let's dig into more crazy hidden history together. Trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next. Number 10. In New Zealand, there's a cave that shouldn't feel real. It looks normal until the lights go out, and suddenly you're staring at a galaxy, a living Milky Way inside solid rock. But here's the part people don't realize. These aren't worms, they're insect larvae, a species found in New Zealand called Arachnocampa luminosa. And they don't glow for beauty, they glow to hunt. They hang sticky threads like fishing lines, and when insects fly in, they don't get out. So that star sky is actually thousands of predators. Imagine standing under a living Milky Way, but it's inside rock. And here's what makes it worse. In the glowworm grotto, they keep you quiet. No phones, no flash, just silence. Because if you fall in, the cave doesn't care. These caves formed over millions of years, carved by water through limestone. And people have been coming here since the 1800s. But the glow isn't constant. If the cave is disturbed, they can dim the light. So yes, it's beautiful, but it's still a trap. An underground star field made of living hunters. But number 9 isn't beautiful. It looks designed. And most humans will never be allowed inside, because number 9 might be the most alien cave on Earth. Let's go deeper. Number 9, in the United States. There's a cave so protected, most humans will never enter it. And the crazy part is, for years, it looked like nothing. Until 1986, when cavers broke through and found a world underneath. Today, it has over 150 miles mapped, and it drops about 1,600 feet deep. But size isn't the scary part. It's what's inside. These formations look designed, and one touch can destroy them. Scientists documented formations here, never seen anywhere else. Bright sulfur, gypsum crystals, and this cave wasn't carved normally. It was shaped by sulfuric acid. Gas rose up from deep underground and ate the rock from the inside. That's why it feels wrong. This cave looks like it was designed, not formed. And that's why it's protected. Only approved exploration teams go in. It has cave pearls, even balloons made of minerals. and pools that look staged. But here's the worst part. Before it was discovered, cavers heard wind roaring from below, meaning a massive space was hidden underneath them. So this isn't just a cave. It's a different planet under your feet. And number 8 is bigger, not deeper, bigger. A jungle inside a mountain. A jungle that never saw the sun until a ceiling collapsed. Number 8. In Vietnam, there's a place hidden in the forest that breathes. A local man found it because he heard wind and water. His name was Ho Khan, and he walked away. Years later, British and Vietnamese cavers went back, and what they found changed cave history. The ceiling climbs as high as a skyscraper, and the tunnel is wider than city streets. This isn't a cave, it's a world-sized corridor, and a river cuts through it, big enough to create clouds. Your light doesn't reach the end. But then, something impossible happens. The ceiling collapsed, and sunlight poured in. So life moved in. A jungle that never saw the sun until a ceiling collapsed. It's jungle inside stone. Some formations here rise like buildings, and deep inside, explorers hit a wall. You don't just walk through Sonjong, you climb it. It stretches about 9 kilometers, with a measured volume in the tens of millions. And this is why it scares me. Because in a place this big, you can disappear. No signal, no easy rescue. Your brain can't process it. It has weather, it has forests, it has rivers. But number 7 proves life can survive without sunlight, sealed, poisonous, ancient. And what's living inside shouldn't be alive. Let's go deeper. Number 7. This is in Romania. In 1986, workers cracked open the ground and found a cave that had been sealed for over 5 million years. But here's what makes it terrifying. The air inside is toxic, low oxygen, and filled with hydrogen sulfide. This cave does not want you alive, but something lived there. Not bacteria alone, an entire ecosystem. Creatures that are blind, pale, spiders, scorpions, leeches, and many of them exist nowhere else on Earth. And here is the science. Life here doesn't use sunlight. It runs on chemosynthesis, bacteria feeding on chemicals, sulfur, methane, and then everything eats the bacteria. That's the whole world. This is how life could exist on other planets, because if life can survive here, it can survive anywhere. That's why Mobile Cave is heavily restricted. Almost nobody goes inside, because one mistake can contaminate a world that survived 5 million years. And if something goes wrong, there's no rescue. These animals evolved in total darkness. So down there, you are the alien. And Mobile is small. Number 6 is deep enough to break humans. A cave where explorers descend for days. And what happens down there feels less like exploration and more like survival. Number 6. This is in the Caucasus Mountains, in the Arabica Massif. Krubera Cave, also called Voronya. It's a vertical nightmare. You don't walk into it, you descend. And here's the fact. Explorers reached roughly 2,197 meters. That's over 2 kilometers beneath the surface, deeper than most mines. Now imagine this. Some sections are so tight, You can't turn around. It's wet, freezing, and every drop steals heat. This isn't a one-day trip. People spend days down here, crossing underground rivers and still going deeper. The deeper you go, the more the cave turns into a death trap. And at the end, it becomes water. A diver named Gennady Samokhin pushed the record deeper. And that's the horror. To leave, you must climb back up. 2 kilometers, straight out of the earth, one mistake, and you don't come home. But number 5 is a cave filled with crystals, and heat so extreme, your body fails in minutes. Let's go to number 5. Yo, if you just got mind blown by these forbidden discoveries, don't sleep on this. Hit that subscribe button now and join the Fact Story History squad. Smash that like, drop a comment with which artifact freaked you out the most, and let's dig into more crazy hidden history together. Trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next. Number 5. In northern Mexico, miners broke through a wall and accidentally opened a door into something Earth should not be able to build. This is real. The walls weren't rock anymore. They were crystals, the size of buses. Some stretched longer than a school bus. It looked like a cathedral, but humans weren't meant to stay there. The heat is extreme. You can't cool down. You can't breathe right. Your body fails. Explorers needed cooling suits and breathing systems, and even then, they couldn't stay long. But the crystals weren't the strangest part. Inside them were tiny pockets of ancient liquid, little bubbles, sealed away for tens of thousands of years. Scientists took samples and found microbes. And when conditions were right, some came back to life. A cave so hot your body collapses. But bacteria survived for ages. This cave formed because of geothermal heat, mineral-rich water, and time. But humans changed everything. The mine drained the water, and the crystals stopped growing. Exposure began damaging them, so the cave was sealed again. It disappeared back into darkness, like it was never meant to be seen. And number 4 isn't about crystals. It's about humans, leaving messages underground. And one cave that recorded 1,000 years of footsteps. Because number 4 proves people were exploring the underworld long before we called it history. Number 4, in southern China, there's a cave named after reeds, because locals turned them into flutes. But inside, it looks like the earth built a palace. Stone curtains, crystal towers, but the real secret is written on the walls, not carvings, ink. The oldest inscription here dates to 792 AD. That's the Tang dynasty. People were exploring this cave before modern countries even existed. Let that sink in. Someone stood here, holding a torch, writing on stone. Now the colors you see, that part is modern, but nature built the palace. And here's something most people miss. It was rediscovered in the 1940s, when refugees hid here, fleeing Japanese troops. So this cave isn't just beautiful. It's a time capsule, a survival shelter, and an ancient tourist site. A palace underground. But number 3 is not a cave. It's in Turkey. And it wasn't made by water. It was made by people. Let's go down. Number 3, in Turkey, the land itself is soft volcanic rock. And underneath it, This isn't a cave, it's a hidden civilization. And for centuries, it was forgotten. Until 1963, a man renovates his house and finds a tunnel. Not one room, a city. It goes about 85 meters down. That's a skyscraper, but underground. And it wasn't built for tourism. It was built for fear. They could seal sections from the inside. Narrow corridors, sharp turns. Now here's the insane part. It could shelter up to 20,000 people. Food storage, supplies, even animals, and wells. So they could survive for a long time. And it breathes, with ventilation shafts bringing air through the levels. So ask yourself, what scares you enough to build this? There were places to pray, places to live, and tunnels leading outward. That's not hiding, that's planning. But number 2 is underground too. But it holds human remains, 10,000 years old. Let's go underwater. Number 2. This is Mexico, in the Yucatan Peninsula. From above, it looks normal, until you look down, because the ground here opens, and the caves are flooded. No air, no light, no second chances. This isn't one cave, it's a network. One of the largest underwater cave systems on Earth is called Sac Actun. If you panic, you die. One wrong fin kick, and the world disappears. And here's the part that breaks your brain. During the Ice Age, sea levels were lower. These caves were dry. People walked inside. Then the planet warmed, and the water rose. And deep inside, divers found human remains, stone tools, signs of fires, and bones of animals that no longer exist. This place didn't just preserve caves, it preserved history. This place preserved 10,000 years of history underwater. Some tunnels get so tight, you become the size of your breath. In these caves, your life depends on one thin line, and the cave branches like veins. To the Maya, these weren't caves, they were gates, an underworld that was real. And I saved the worst for number 1, because number 1 doesn't just go down, it goes sideways into tunnels nobody has mapped. And what divers found at the bottom shouldn't exist. And once you enter, the underworld doesn't care if you come back. Number 1, from above, it looks peaceful. But that dark circle is the Dragon Hole. It's in the South China Sea. Scientists call it the Sansha Yongle Blue Hole. Now watch this. The deeper you go, the light disappears. You lose the surface. This hole drops to about 300.89 meters. That's a skyscraper, straight down. But the scariest part isn't depth, it's the layers. At certain levels, the entire environment changes. Research shows deep water can become oxygen poor, meaning normal life can't survive. So what lives there? And the walls are steep, and some divers suspect side passages, a hole that doesn't just go down, it may go sideways. And that's worse, because sideways means no visible end. And once you're deep, time becomes your enemy. And this isn't myth. This is a documented marine blue hole. Even local legend calls it the Dragon Hole. Legend or not, the darkness is real. No sound reaches you. No signal saves you. And now you've seen 10 places. That prove one thing. We only live on the surface. Comment right now. Which one is the scariest? And which one should I cover alone as a full documentary? If you want part 2, remember, we haven't found everything. 10 caves, 10 doorways. And the scariest part is we've barely scratched the surface. We saw life without sunlight, a cave too hot for humans, an entire cities carved into stone, and history sealed underwater for 10,000 years. Now I want you to answer this. Which cave was the scariest? Number 10 or number 1? Drop your pick in the comments and tell me why. And which cave should I cover alone next? 1 cave, 1 full documentary. If you like real mysteries, real history, and real science, subscribe, because the next cave gets worse. Some doors should stay closed.